Hello, good day. We continue on statistics. Today we are looking at the interpretation of pie charts. Now, if you are given this pie chart is already drawn to scale. So this represents clerks, manager, skilled people, and laborers. So the questions that follow says the pie charts above shows the division of workforce of a factory. What is the sectorial angle of each division of workforce? In its simplest form, what fraction of the workforce are skilled? What percentage of the workforce are laborers? Give the ratio of managers to clerks in the simplest form. Then E part of the question says, if the factory employs 108 people, how many managers? How many are managers? So you see in this question, this is drawn to scale. Instead of giving us figures, we were just given the charts. So we are expected to decode all the information on these pie charts. So the first thing is for us, A part of the question say what is the sectorial angle of each division of workforce. So to look for the sectorial angles, so for the clerks, you are going to use your protractor. This is your protractor. The center of the protractor, make sure it falls at the center of the circle. And the line, this line that is drawn on the protractor, make sure this line falls on this first line. So when it falls there and the center at the center here, with it you'll be able to look for. So you can see it falls on this one. So realize that the angle it picks here is for 50. So it means that the sectorial angle for clerk is for 50. So you pen it down. Then we are having the next one, which is manager. Again, you make sure the center of this protractor falls at the center here. This line now fall on this line. So you are having this. So you can see that it's this one 9 falls on this 0 here, on the last 9 of this. Then you will now realize that on this we are having 30 degrees for the managers. So this 10, 20, 30. Then the next one is for skilled people. Again, the center of this protractor falls at the center here, and this line fall on this line. So that is on this line. So you now make sure this angle, so this one will now fall on this. So this is 80. So skilled people measures what? 80 degrees. Now you realize that the remaining angle is even more than bigger than my protractor. But we know that if we measure the others correctly, to get the remaining angle, you realize that we just add these other angles and subtract from 360. We got our managers to be 30, our skilled people to be 80 degrees. To get laborers, so you just say 360 minus the addition of the ones you have done, which will give us 160. So which eventually for the sectorial angle for laborers is 200. Now, B part of the question says, in its simplest form, what fraction of the workforce are skilled? In its simplest form, what fraction of the workforce are skilled? What fraction are skilled? Now look at it. Realize that what is the sectorial angle for skilled laborers? We have an 80. Write 80, fraction that are skilled, so write 80, you are using their sectorial angle. Since you are using the sectorial angle, you will use the sum of angle in a circle, which is over 360. The sum of all the angles here on the pie chart will be what? 360. So you divide it by 360. The sectorial angle for skilled labor is what? Skilled people is 80 over 360. So to the lowest term, it will give us 2 over 9. 2 over 9. C. What percentage of the workforce are laborers? Now, The sectorial angle for laborers, we will say it is 200 abi. So that means you have to express 200 degrees in percentage. So the percentage of laborers, the sectorial angle for laborers over 360 is the sum of angles in a circle, 10 times 100. So with this, so it will give you 55.56, which is what? As a percentage. Means same thing as 56 degrees to the nearest whole number. Then D part says, give the ratio of managers to clerk in its simplest form. Give the ratio of the managers to the clerk in its simplest form. So we are told to write manager and the clerk. The manager and clerk now as a ratio. Manager is to clerk. So the sectorial angle for manager is 30, and that of the clerk is what? 50. 30 is to 50. So this same thing as a 30 ratio 50, same thing as a 30 over 50. When you do this to the lowest term, it will give you 3 over 5. So writing it as a ratio, we have 3 ratio 5. Then the last part of the question says, if the factory employs 108 people, how many are managers? If the factory employs 108 people, how many are managers? So if in the factory the population of the people is what? 108. How many are the managers? So that means, since we know that in the managers we got the sectorial angle to be what? 30 degrees for the managers. So to get the two, so that means we now say what? The manager, sectorial angle of the manager over 360 times the population of the people there. So with this, we are able to get 9 managers. So it means in the factory, we are having 9 managers. Now for your work practice. So number 1, you see that in this circle, this is not to scale, but we are given some values there. So the first one is for sleeping, 35 degree angle is for sleeping. This one represents 90, angle 90. So this is for in the class. So the pie chart represents 24 hours in the life of a student. So it means that how a particular student used 24 hours of the day. So 135 degrees is used for sleeping. So he spent the 90 degree in the class. He spent 48 degrees studying. We are told that X degrees is spent for traveling. Then for other activities we don't know. So they now tell us what fraction of the time is spent sleeping. What fraction of the time is spent sleeping? That's A. B. What percentage of the time is spent studying? What percentage of the time is spent studying? C. How much time is spent studying? How much time is spent studying? D. If 1 hour 20 minutes is spent traveling, calculate the value of X. If 1 hour 20 minutes is spent traveling, calculate the value of X. What is the time used for other activities? What is the time used for other activities? Then number 2. Now we are having this again. This is a circle, pie chart. We are not given this A, but we are given this. This shows that this angle here is 90. We are giving this to be 120. We are giving this to be 45. So this is not to scale, but the values of the angles were given except 1. So the question says, the pie chart shows the proportion of money that 4 people A, B, C, D invest in a business. The pie chart also shows how the yearly profit is divided. Then A, if B invests 480,000 naira, how much did each of the others invest? B, in the first year, the total profit were 643,200. How much did A receive? In the first year, the total profit were 643,200 naira. How much did he receive? So make sure you practice it, to attempt it. And if you want me to monitor your progress, you can contact me on my WhatsApp number, which is 080 68 30 91 91. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.